Con Ryan, welcome to Business Insider.
Thanks,
and
Mark.
Milestone Villanova's boardroom. President of the Five Walks Committee?
Five Lands Walk
Five
Committee.
Lands Walk Committee. We'll cut that in. No, we won't. We'll go
right.
from here.
Bit tongue-tied.
Yeah, seventh year. You've been involved for how long now?
7 years, but I started off very much at a very minor level. But as I've gone along, I've found myself more involved with it. And when council decided to hand over the running of the organisation of the event to the community, my sidestep wasn't working too well, so everyone took a step back and I was president.
Congratulations on your immobility.
Yes, thank you.
You've got to be sharper than that, Con. Let's talk about this because it is a great event with growing recognition, but often recognition is a painful thing. Tell us about some of the issues you faced.
Yeah, well, I think there's quite a number of issues that we face every day of the week, and there's new ones coming along every day as the actual event develops. This year, as an example, that it's weather dependent, but on a good day that we're planning for 10,000 people to take part.
And just so we clarify, this is a walk from?
The actual Five Lands Walk is a walk from McMaster's Beach across Copacabana, Capital Lookout, Avoca, North Avoca, Terrigal, about 9 kilometres. But the walk itself is not, we expect about 2,500 people to register to do the walk. And most people don't do the walk.
Right.
It's more of a festival. So they come down and maybe stay at one of the lands and be entertained all day. Because there's entertainment all day at each particular land. They may see some of the actual program at other lands and decide to jump on a bus, which is free, to go to one other. So the combinations and permutations of the walk are infinite.
And it is about community. Well, tell us about why this is happening. What are your objectives?
Well, I mean, the objectives of the Five Lands Walk is to actually connect people to people and people to place. That's our blurb, if you like, or mantra. And we have another comment, which is nobody is excluded. So with that, it's truly a community event and connecting ethnic communities, as well as the Aboriginal is very much rooted in the Aboriginal culture, and also connecting the actual people in the lands. And the actual idea was taken from the Cinque Terre in Italy, which is magnificent. I've done that and it was fantastic. But
is it as good as ours?
It's different because I think that the scenery that we have in both countries is different but fantastic. We have a difference in the sense that we are very much into the Aboriginal and ethnic culture and spirituality, and that in itself
adds another layer.
Adds a depth to it. As an example, we feature an ethnic community every year, and the ethnic community we're featuring this year is the Africans. They're based at Terrigal, and there's a collaborative artwork put up with the Skillion. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have.
And this year that it'll be a collaboration between an African artist and an Aboriginal artist.
Okay.
It'll be very interesting.
So let's talk about getting those collaborations happening, because it'd be so easy to organise, I'm sure.
Oh yes, easy.
Yeah. Let's talk about one or two issues you may have found on the way through here.
Well, one of the things that to start with, I mean, you've got to have all the stakeholders going the same direction.
Are they on the page? Are they on the same book?
Virtually,
Yeah.
virtually. We have our instances along the way, and the actual stakeholders involved are Gosford City Council, Central Coast Tourism. We've got the Aboriginal community, ethnic communities, and also the lands themselves. and state and federal governments as well. So it's trying to get everybody going down the same pathway. Has its opportunities, but we've been able to.
Do businesses get involved?
Yes, well, we actually had when we formed Five Lands Walk Inc. 3 years ago, and that was the vehicle for us to, when I say us, the community, to organise the actual event, and all those stakeholders I mentioned before are represented on that committee. And I mean, everyone's got to have a seat at the table, otherwise you don't go anywhere. And I learned that in my own business. And the thing is that Gosford City Council was funding the event for the first 4 years, and when we took over, they wanted to reduce or eliminate their funding. This year is the last of the funding, and over this last 3 years, we've been replacing their funding with sponsorship from businesses.
Opportunity to support those sponsors. Have you got?
To
Yeah,
name
mention
them?
Absolutely.
Oh yes. Well, we've got Central Coast Leagues. We've got Avoca Beach Bowling Club. We have, and these are platinum sponsors, and we have also H&H Catering. The other ones are Star of the Sea. We have a new one, which is the Moran Art Prize.
All right. Okay.
Which is excellent, and we have Trend Pack.
Yes.
Up there at Wyong Way.
Yeah.
And we are sort of, these are the platinum sponsors, but we also have sponsors in gold, silver, and bronze.
Okay.
So all in all, I mean, one of the large sponsors too is Coastal Liner.
The bus
company.
Yeah. Coastline.
Yeah, they actually supply buses for the event all day at no cost.
Wow.
As their contribution to the community. And you're talking 3 coaches and 3 24-seaters all day.
And you have entertainment and refreshments and food. Are they stalls at the?
Well, as an example, if the day starts off, this is one of the actual pathways or journeys. People can pick up a free bus from Terrigal at the Haven or at the Crown Plaza, and go to McMaster's Beach. At McMaster's Beach, there's a photographic exhibition. As part of a competition that we run, and then we have an opening ceremony whereby the school children involved, the Latinos are actually being hosted by McMaster's Beach this year. There's a free breakfast for the first 500 people that turn up. Each person that registers at McMaster's gets a bottle of water and energy bars and that sort of thing. So the Aboriginal, the smoking ceremonies, the Aboriginal community are represented. They're painted in their own with their own culture, and they actually walk the first group of people up the beach, and they'll be met at Cochrane Lagoon by Aboriginal elders who will be calling in the whales in their own way. This is the height of the whale season, which is a fantastic backdrop to the walk as well. Arriving at Copacabana, there's an art exhibition up in the club, surf club. We're connected with all the surf clubs.
So I guess as you go for the walk, you can choose to stay at Copa, or
Can
Copa,
if you
or
like.
you could probably stay at McMaster's if you just kind of settled in there.
Could be entertained all day.
Indeed, and I guess the opportunity is for businesses to get involved and support it. Con, in 5 years' time, you know, we all. I love being accountable. You know, we want to have this many people. If we look back and say, okay, well, this is what the Five Lands Walk has done for the Central Coast. What would you love people to say about the Five Lands Walk?
Well, I think one of the things that we're concentrating on is the actual pathway. There's an actual pathway. The master plan was approved by council 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It'll take some $8 to $10 million to actually construct the pathway over a few years, I'm sure. But we've already started. We start next week, and we've got some $300,000 now being actually used to construct the stage 1 of the Captain Cook lookout, with a new lookout, mm-hmm. A new car park, and also a water station where people can fill up their bottles on their walk. You'll see more of those as we go along. The other thing is that we've got a grant from the Tourism New South Wales, or Destination New South Wales as it's called now, to construct signage, directional signage, and that some of that stage 1 will go in this year
prior to the
walk.
Fantastic.
We hope.
Yes. Well, the council's onto it. That's the main thing.
Hope springs eternal.
Indeed.
And also on top of that, right, we the side path from Del Monte Drive through to Winnie Bay is in need of some repair, and monies has been assigned to that as well to upgrade that before the walk.
Fantastic.
So, there's the walkway itself. When the walkway is probably half constructed and we've got rid of most of the bottlenecks and gremlins in the system, I'm thinking that probably in 2 years' time that people will be coming up here to do the Five Lands Walk. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a tourism mecca. But I think the main thing is that the connections between all the people is the strong point. Do you know, we have, as an example, detainees from the Baxter Detention Centre exhibiting their paintings at Copacabana,
right,
as an example.
Yeah.
So that in itself is a great help to them.
If now we have a magic wand. This is Business Insider. We can change anything you want. Mm-hmm. It's also your rant.
Right.
What could we address as a business community to make this project simpler to run? Or
well, I think that the main thing is, as it goes along, that we need to empower more of the authorities in terms of supporting it. But then again,
I'm not sure what empowered means.
Well, empowered in the sense that they're emotionally involved to the point where they want to contribute.
Committed is another word.
Committed is okay. Committed is one. Empowered means my.
You're looking for a general. I understand.
I'm looking for some the support to construct that Five Lands pathway. Yeah. Once the pathway is well on the way, then there's no stopping the Five Lands Walk. At the moment, without the pathway, the actual walk is very much supported by the goodwill of the volunteers. And we have some 300 plus volunteers, and it's important for them to see the pathway constructed because it increases their enthusiasm to keep it going.
Which is a rough job. I would love to commit. Well, we can commit to the conversion, that enthusiasm, that word commitment.
Oh yes.
The commercialisation, and I hesitate to use that word because sometimes people see 24 sheet posters being plastered around the place. But there must be opportunities to engage, commercial opportunities.
Well, interesting enough that we have a manifesto that outlines the principles of the Five Lands Walk, and one of those is a wallet-free principle. And that wallet-free principle is under attack all the time from commercialisation. Yeah. And it's one of our big challenges to keep it that way. Because
what does it mean, the wallet-free?
Well, the wallet-free principle means that especially with the economy, etc., today, and the unemployment up here on the Central Coast, that people can come down themselves or with their families and have a great day and cost them nothing.
Oh, sorry, the commercialisation is not about charging. It is about recognising supporters in a way that they feel like they're getting value
Yes.
for their participation. No, I wasn't going to
Okay.
charge. We need to tidy that up, or I'm in bad books all that. But we'll see what we can do, because it is an extraordinary event. It has great potential. It has a great sister event, and I think the first challenge for me is to get my wife to sponsor me to do the
Cinque Terre.
Maybe an impossible task, but really thank you for your time coming
You'll
in.
enjoy doing it, huh?
I'm going to enjoy. I know I will enjoy the Five Lands Walk here sooner than
But if I could just mention to you that sponsorship is platinum sponsorship in particular is a challenge as well, and we are still in need of a number of new sponsors. So in terms of commercialisation, the words you've used, yes, we do need continuing interest from.
Well, here's
from
a
sponsors.
commitment. If you can get us what they call a regular rectangle ad for Business Insider's website, we'll run that in the lead up, so we at least can work on getting more participants along.
Beautiful.
If it's just to enjoy.
Well, if I can say before we leave, right?
I love a salesman, Bob.
We have the Five Lands Walk is on the 23rd of June.
Yes.
And we have some lead-up events, Latitude 33 on the 15th and 16th of June, which is world-class and developed at Avoca. Don't miss it.
Well, give us this information, we will run it for you.
And also we have a Taste of Avoca, a complimentary event on the Sunday, so people can come up and have a great time all weekend. So hopefully we'll see you all there.
And now I'm going to shake your hand because you've got to go.
Okay.
Thank you, Con.